Have you seen what they've done over at Claude now with a new feature called Design? They just released this yesterday as I'm recording this, and it is amazing for creating the kind of graphs that you can use for monetizing, and many different tools that are available that are just, oh my goodness, off the charts, kind of like Claude does for many different things. We're going to show you in this video. I'm going to sit down and go through some of the things, just sharing it with you, because hey, we just are seeing, I'm just seeing it myself right now. First, I want to show you some of the things that are there that you can actually use as a content creator, as a creative conductor, to be able to start putting that together. That's what we talk about at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. I'm Terry Brock, and we talk about these things here, and I'm going to show you what can do it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Here we are in Claude, and I'm looking at this right now in the golden hour. You'll notice right over here on the left side, you'll see something brand new here, Design. Design is now a new feature that's in there right underneath Code, and when you look at that and you say, okay, well, let's take a look at Design and what it is all about, and that I'm clicking on it right now, and when I do, notice what happens. It shows me, I get some information where I can start a file here. I can look at some slides. I have tried this with creating slides. I got to tell you, this thing is pretty amazing what it does. I do a lot of presentations, and if you're creating graphics using PowerPoint, or I'm on the Mac side, so we use a lot of Keynote, this is phenomenal. I see the capability of using this in great. And I also use Gamma, a wonderful product, and love it. But Gamma gives me the ability to do a few extras, and I found sometimes you might want to use these new features with Claude and Gamma and get even better presentations all the way around. Sometimes you'll want to use Google Slides. That's another feature in this. So just broadening your ideas of what you can do with it and the capabilities here. You also have new product wireframes, product prototypes you can put together, and the wireframes as well. All of this available here, and documents, so that you can then start putting together some of the different documents that are available with PDFs and with resumes. And here's one that's really nice. This is animation. The animation gives you the ability to do quite a few things, I think, pretty handily, and getting a chance to see. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of how you can use that and what it's really good for. If you're doing presentations, this is something you definitely want to look into. And then of course we can do a blank canvas and get a lot of new features in there with that. You'll see that up here at the top, let's take a look at some of the features they have here on Claude Design. I'm looking into this just like you are, first time here. We can see what's available. These are some of the recent things that I put together, and you'll see down here in the bottom, I've been working on a few things that I put together, some graphics, some slides, things like that that look really, really nice. But I think what you want to take a look at first is take a look at some of these examples, the examples that they give you and how you can use these and what's available. Now you'll see on this one right here, you can create a calculator. And I thought, well, why would I want to do that? And then when I went to Claude and I said, why would people want to use that? It gave me some really good ideas as to why they would want to do it. And let's have some fun with this. What I've got is my phone here. I'm going to be using my Samsung S26 Ultra, using that. I'm going to ask it some questions about this. And here we are. Hey, Claude, I want to ask you about design that's in there. I'm looking at it right now. I've got a lot of my friends joining me right here on video. And I see there's a feature over here under examples called the Calculator Kit. What the heck is the Calculator Kit?
Hey, Terry. So the Calculator Kit is basically a pre-built set of components that lets you create interactive calculators without having to code from scratch. Think of it like a template library, though. You've got buttons, display screens, input fields, all wired up and ready to go, so you can drop them into a design and customize them for whatever calculation you need.
Well, let me ask you this. Give me some examples of where it would be used in the real world, like with mortgage, maybe, with banks, or someone that's got student loans or something like that. Would that be some examples?
Absolutely, yeah. So mortgage calculators are a perfect example. Banks and lenders use them all the time to let customers punch in loan amount, interest rate, and term to see what their monthly payment would be. Student loan calculators work the same way, showing borrowers what they'd owe month to month based on different repayment plans. You'd also see them for things like retirement savings calculators, investment return projections, cost of living comparisons.
Okay, it sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate that. And what I want to do, hang on just a second. I'm talking here, so we'll do that and move it down. And what I want to do is I'm going to slide down here to the next one, which I think is even better. So let's take a look at this. This next one here that I'm looking at is something called text particle effects. Tell me about that. What is it? It looks pretty snazzy.
Right, so text particle effects breaks your text into animated particles. Think of letters and words fragmenting into little pieces that can burst, swirl, fade, or reassemble. It's pure visual drama. For you, this could be fantastic for video intros, landing pages, or email newsletter headers where you want that wow factor to stop people in their tracks and actually pay attention to what you're saying.
I think there's some real capabilities. In fact, I can see right here, we're looking at the one that says the dragon breathed fire, and we're seeing the fire in there pretty big, and it said into the cold night and smoke, and we're seeing smoke coming from that, curled around his metal scales, a bitter wind created sparks across the snow plains, where it goes on and on from there. I'm thinking this could be really good in presentations as well as in videos. What do you think?
Oh man, you're spot on. That's exactly the kind of thing that would work beautifully in your keynotes. Imagine opening a slide with that fire-breathing dragon text effect while you're talking about orchestrating AI tools or the Creative Conductor framework.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's good. That is good. Well, think about the capabilities with that, where you could use this. One of those things, that's the animation. And it's just something extra. Now, could we do that with some other tools? Yeah, it'd take a lot of work, though. But now we can do it pretty easily and do some other things. Now, they give you some other examples, too. Like, for instance, here's one that's called app onboarding. I think that's pretty simple. That you just create an app right here. You can actually do it within the design lets you do that. I think that's kind of nice. Not something I've done a lot, but I think it could be good. Here's another one I think is pretty nice called the shader wallpapers. Now this one is interesting. Let's go back and ask Claude about this one here as well. One moment. Okay, now I'm looking at the shader wallpapers. Tell me a little bit about that. It looks interesting. Tell me how we would use this, and particularly how Creative Conductors and how we, those of us that are doing content creation, can use it as well.
So shader wallpapers are basically animated generative visual backgrounds. They use code to create dynamic, flowing patterns, gradients, and effects that evolve in real time. Think swirling colors, liquid motion, geometric patterns that shift and breathe on their own. For you as a Creative Conductor, this is gold for video backgrounds, landing pages, or email newsletter headers. You get that polished, premium visual vibe without needing to shoot footage or hire a designer. Drop it behind your navy and orange branding, and you've got something that looks high-end and keeps viewers engaged while you're delivering the message.
Yeah, I see something here I've clicked on the right. It says Cell Bloom. That's CELLBLOOM. Cell Bloom. It's got a moving background. It looks kind of interesting. That might be a fun background to put into a YouTube video in the right circumstances. Is that, am I on the right track here?
Yeah, you're absolutely on the right track. Cell Bloom would be perfect as a dynamic background layer in a YouTube video, especially for something like an intro sequence or a segment where you're breaking down a concept. The organic flowing movement gives it a living quality that keeps the eye engaged while you're talking, and it's way more interesting than a static background or just your face on camera the whole time.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense. Now, I want to slide down here to this next one. I'm really fascinated with this. It says a globe loader, because I click on this right here and it says use this prompt. I'm going to click here to see what it looks like, and there we are. Look at that. It's got the globe spinning around. That looks kind of nice. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So a globe loader is basically an animated spinning globe at sea.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You could just say, okay, we're in a big world and our world is spinning around, something like that. Are there some other applications that I'm not seeing right now?
Absolutely. So beyond the visual metaphor of the world is spinning, you could use it to represent global reach, like when you're talking about how your AI tools work worldwide or how your audience spans different countries. It's also great for loading screens or transitions between segments in a video, giving viewers something to watch while you're pulling up your next point. And honestly, for the SRE brand, it could work as a visual anchor when you're discussing international business trends or how entrepreneurship is borderless in the AI era.
Yeah, that makes sense. So like you're saying, SRE, that's our Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, our group that does a lot with that. So thank you, I appreciate that. Now there's another one down here. It says Cosmic Scale Animation. That looks interesting. Tell me, what is that all about?
Cosmic scale animation is basically showing movement or change across massive, mind-bending scales, think zooming from a single atom all the way out to the entire universe, or vice versa. It creates this sense of perspective and wonder, showing how things fit into the bigger picture. For your content, this could be powerful when you're talking about how AI is transforming entire industries or how individual entrepreneurs fit into the broader business ecosystem. It's the visual equivalent of stepping back and showing the scope of what's happening.
I like it. That sounds good. And then let's see, I think there's another one here, organic loaders. What in the world is that?
Organic loaders are animated loading indicators that have that natural, flowing, almost biological feel to them. Like pulsing shapes, breathing effects, or liquidy movements that look alive rather than mechanical. They're typically used while content is loading or processing in the background.
I like that word you use, liquidy. I like that liquid-y kind of movement. It sounds kind of fun.
liquidy vibe has this organic, almost hypnotic quality to it. It feels premium and smooth without being too stiff or corporate. Perfect for your brand, honestly.
Yeah, give me an example. What would be an example where we could use that, say, in a presentation where you're using Keynote or PowerPoint and you want to make a point? What would be a couple of hypothetical examples?
So imagine you're doing a keynote on the Creative Conductor framework, and you're walking through how different AI tools work together. You could use an organic loader to transition between each tool you're introducing. That liquidy movement keeps the energy flowing while you're shifting gears. Or say you're presenting to executives and you want to show real-time data or a live demo of an AI workflow. Drop an organic loader on screen while you're pulling up the tool, and it keeps people visually engaged instead of staring at a blank slide. It buys you time and keeps the presentation feeling dynamic and polished.
I like that. I think that's really important. We can buy time, keep it going that way. And I see here you have an iridescent card. What in the world is that?
So an iridescent card is basically a card element, think like a content blocker button, that has that shimmery color shifting quality. Like oil and water or a soap bubble. The colors shift and change as you move or interact with it, giving it this premium eye-catching feel. For presentations or landing pages, you could use iridescent cards to highlight key takeaways, feature your different AI tools, or showcase client results. It draws the eye naturally and feels modern and sophisticated without being over the top.
Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm thinking this one down here below that could be even more helpful. Text streaming. I like this. It says a responsive grid, animate to different text streaming animations for a chat app, etc. Tell me about that and what it is. I see right now it's got the thing in here about Paris, and it says the capital of France is Paris, etc. as it spells it out. Tell me a little bit more about how we would use this.
Text streaming is that effect you see in ChatGPT or Claude, where text appears character by character like it's being typed out in real time. It creates this sense of live conversation and immediacy. It feels like an AI is thinking and responding right before your eyes. For your content, this could be killer in videos where you're showing AI tool workflows or demos. Instead of just showing a static screenshot, you animate the text appearing as if the AI is actually generating it live, which makes it way more engaging and shows the real-time magic of what these tools actually do.
All right, well that sounds pretty good. I like it. I think there's a lot of capabilities with that, and we appreciate you stopping by here, Mr. Claude, to help us out on it. So you see, there's a lot of capability, my friend, when you look at the capabilities of this and what it can do for you. It is pretty amazing. And I want to show you one other thing that we did before I let you go and see what we did here with a slideshow. I took some information, some text that I had that I did some research on, just threw it in there, and within about a minute, 2 minutes or so, it came up with this slideshow. Let me show you that. Okay, so here we are. I'm in Keynote right now on my Mac, like PowerPoint. I'm using this, and this is what Claude gave me when I asked it to do it today. Just real quick, it came in here, Claude Design, Creative Conductors, newest instrument. We talk about being a creative conductor, kind of like a conductor of an orchestra who is managing the different tools. That's what you're doing with this. And you can turn plain language, conversation into polished, on-brand, sellable visuals. No design degree required. Main thing I want you to see is what it does and how it can use this for many different applications. You'll see here, so it says, what is Claude Design? Well, Claude Design is powered by Claude Opus 4.7. It's a research preview included with Claude Mac. Now, this does require payment. I'm on the Pro program myself at $20 a month, and by the way, well worth it, and getting a lot of good things there. And it's built for everyone, kind of nice in what it does there and the way it puts it together. What you can actually build, pitch decks and slides. I tried that. And as a professional speaker who's been doing it for, 43 years plus, I'm off to a good start on that. But doing that long, I'm impressed with what it can do here. One page and lead magnets, social and campaign visuals, interactive prototypes, all of this available here. And then you can put this, how it works, you can describe it here. Let me show you this here. Describe and refine and then ship. You can ship this thing, get it out there, and get action with it. Because it starts with describing it, then you have your Claude builds, then you'll have your refining live, so you can look at it and look at this here. We can give you all kinds of output on this so that you can use it in different ways for Canva, for PDFs, being able to use it in PowerPoint. This is where it will create the PowerPoint presentation for you. And of course, if you're using Keynote over on the Mac, like I am, you just create the PowerPoint presentation, and of course you can bring it in there. It works out very nicely. And you'll see down here we have a standalone HTML, an internal link, and the Claude code handoff, all that kind of stuff. And it's probably one of those things, you're not going to use every element of it, but it's got some really nice features here that give you capabilities. And so it's something that's fresh, hot off the press on June 17th, 2026, however long you're seeing this later. You'll see it, and you see it shows me the design, the system, imports. It has direct canvas editing, so I can go into Canva on the canvas on here. This is the canvas, not Canva, canvas here, so I can work with it. Two-way classic code sync and more export options. In other words, the thing is packed full of a lot of goodies in here with some good things for you. And so as a creative conductor, you got a monetization playbook on this here. So you can start using it for some major things here. Sell digital products, land brand deals. Think about how you can use this to help others. Think about people that are going to need this kind of thing to help get their business going in some serious specific ways. You're going to be able to help them with that in a big way. And you'll also be able to build your offer pages and have your products and services that are available, all of that available. So it's your move, conductor. You're going to be able to use this in several different ways. You can start designing right now at claude.ai/design, and this is for the paid program that you'll need. It gives you a lot of capabilities. It's with Claude Pro, Max, Team, and Enterprise. You can bring an idea, transcript, or a rough outline. That's one of the things, by the way, I really particularly liked about it, because what I could do is I could bring in some text, type it in there, or what I did is I went back and experimenting in preparing this video, and I got a lot of different ideas in text. I took the email that I sent out today, put that together, took just the text of that, and it created a very nice show with it. So I think we've got some really good capabilities here with all that. And it is pretty nice here where it said, I like the way it typed into something I say often, woohoo! It's got now you can orchestrate something and can make it work. So this is something, my friend, you want to take a look at. If you're a creator, a conductor who is conducting your own orchestra, if we will, of different tools that are available with AI, this can help you a lot. We're going to be doing that and helping people in many different ways with it. And by the way, here's how you can help yourself even more. Like this video, so that then when we have some other videos like this, you'll be able to help that, be able to get those notices right off the bat as it comes out like this real quickly. And share this with others, because they're going to love you for sharing it and being able to do that. And subscribe, that helps us a lot. We really appreciate you doing that. And got a goodie for you right now, for you and your team you're working with, to understand different tools. AI tools for biz, that's the number 4. AI tools for biz, biz.com, and you'll see right above me here, if you catch it on video, there's a QR code that you can use to get even more goodies on this. This is there's no charge for it whatsoever. You can get that, and then it's updated so you and your team can realize, oh, new things are coming out, I want to get that, I want to start doing a little bit more with it in some other ways and make this work in a big way. So a lot of good coming to you on this with Claude Design. It is available, and I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of this thing and how you would use it. And we've got some other videos here. They're going to help you specifically learn how to use some of these tools with Claude and with others. I'm Terry Brock with Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. Thank you very much for joining me today. I am really looking forward to hearing from you on this one.